Hello and welcome to the interview with ChangeArtist, otherwise known as Justin Buntamante, if you know him on any of the communities. Nice seeing you again, Justin. How's it going?
It's going pretty good, bio.
Going pretty good. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. So, just tell me what you've been getting up to these days. I hear you doing masteries.
Yep, Behemoth Mastery's sitting at level 43 right now. We're
Oh, okay. Oh, don't get me jealous now. Don't get me jealous.
oh man.
I mean, speaking of mastery, I'm actually trying to do mastery myself. You know, the strikers.
Okay, cool, cool.
Yeah, I really only use them for trials though. That's the thing. It's
Hmm.
weird.
You're gonna
So,
need a little more practice than that, I think, if you're gonna pull them off for trials.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it works for trials, yeah, but I just mean, I don't really use them more for trials. I don't really feel like I want to use them for more than trials. Is that weird?
No, not really.
Uh,
I got a. I went through a phase where I only used repeaters on certain behemoths until I got better at fighting with them. So
yeah.
I mean, it's all
And
about
look at me.
whatever. Dauntless isn't one of those games where, I mean, it used to be where there's one weapon that's meta and everybody needs to use it. But as the game balances out, everything becomes more and more viable. So
I
you
think it's
just
good
want
to remember that the whole game, you can use whatever the hell you want that isn't trolls. Like literally anything you want. Because you're
to.
not restricted. You don't have a certain time to do it. Well, you have 25 minutes, but if you're not doing it in 25 minutes, I'm really worried for you.
Yeah,
But
I
you
remember
can
that was
kill
my
it in
first.
everything.
I think what people get caught up is wanting that sub 3.
Yeah, I mean, then again, I would for the. I mean, you kind of do every week for the steel marks, right?
Mm-hmm.
By the
Yeah,
way,
but I think
oh, sorry for interrupting. What was you gonna say?
I was to say that when it comes to trials, I know once I let go of the time and I just need the kill. That's when I get my best times. Is when I'm not worried about getting sub 3. But I'm gonna try this real
So, speaking of trials, what would you say is one of the most? What would you say is experience in trials that really stuck to you?
quick. That really stuck to me.
Yeah.
My first sub 3
Oh,
solo in normal trials. Um, it was just like I said. It was leave me down here. I'm gonna wait till he's done so I can talk. Uh,
okay.
I wasn't even thinking about the time. I was just, I got to get this kill because I don't want anybody to carry me. And it was intense. It was fast. I did a lot of talking to myself, but I got the kill, and I got it in like a minute and a half. And
Minute
after,
and a half.
after,
Okay, come on. A minute and a half.
yeah, once I
I
got,
did say don't get me jealous now.
once I did that in normal trials, I thought to myself, like, there's no reason I should not be able to do Dauntless trials. I just got on that train.
So, with trials, what would you say is the one tip you would give to people watching?
The one what?
What would you say is the one tip you would give to people looking to do trials?
Breathe. when you when you play, breathe. Um,
Oh, I'll meet you in town, yeah?
you hear bio?
I am here.
Okay, there you go. But as far as trials, aside from breathing, um, let go of the idea that regardless of your weapon power, that you're gonna kill him fast. I mean, you can. There's a lot involved, but when you go in, if you're not used to the speed and the timing of trials, just slow down. Don't even pop pots when you go in. Go in there and just dodge. And dodge every attack. Um, and start there. Really just start there. Even if you got to go into heroic and just dodge every attack for 5 minutes. Do that first. Because then you get used to his timing and all the attacks. Then when you're done with that, then practice the boop and how to bait it. But that's essentially my strategy. I know it's Koshai. I go and I fight a bunch of heroic Koshais just dodging everything. Now I know how he moves. Attacks are coming. Get a feel for his tendency, what he does after certain attacks. And then Trials becomes a faster version of that. And that's really all it is. To help save time, I watch videos from all the top players, you know, Derp and Helltrix. I try not to stick to that pattern because I mean a lot of it's RNG, but I mean a lot of those top players are doing a lot of the same things. So try to find what those things are and just work with that. Just go slow, just not really worry about the kill, and it comes to you.
And obviously it's working well for you. I mean, how many gilded marks have you got now?
I've got about 4,000.
You got about 4,000. So obviously what you're doing is working.
Yeah, yeah. I bought the crown, and then that's all I wanted. It was the crown.
Oh, by the way, did you start a hunt or?
Oh shoot! Not since coming back.
No, because when he said if I was back, I didn't know if that glitch happened where I couldn't see if the hunt was active. I really hate that glitch. I hope they fix that soon.
Let's take this one.
So, if they added anything into the trial store, be it for gilded or steel marks, what would you like to see in there?
Oh man, I would like to see a weapon that we could switch up, because one of the things that always sticks out in my mind is that there's not a weapon. Everyone loves Hellion weapons because they got 2 power slots. I would love a weapon with 2 technique slots.
Oh yes.
Yeah, or 2.
So it looks like the video's going pretty well so far.
Wanting to swap out overpower for savagery on these chain blades, and there are chain blades with savagery on them, but they're not these Hellion blades, and they don't have 2 power slots. So a way just to customize them a little bit. But then that comes down to personal style of play, and if I really wanted that, I'd just switch weapons. But I'm a meta slave, so here I am.
And look at me, I'm using a Reza weapon on the Rezakiri. I gotta do mastery sometimes, so.
I get to use one of my favorite builds when white Rezakiri.
Oh, I love that outfit. That would look really cool with the middleman helmet.
Don't tempt me, man. I might go buy it.
You know, me and a guy called Mighty that I play with, we actually had this idea for, as you said, a weapon that changes things up. And it was actually a legendary repeater.
You guys, we already have 2 repeaters.
No, but think about this, yeah. It has a 60-round magazine. It fires in quick shots, but the shots themselves do less damage. And it isn't an instant shot, they are tracking bullets. So they're more like a projectile than they are an actual, gun.
Yeah. What about a mod that made every other round a homing bullet?
I thought we wanted to get repeater mains that are going on cliffs doing 5 damage. A reason not to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's great.
but
Hey,
I would like to
wrong
see
with
that. I would like to see a chamber for the repeaters that actually changed the ammo capacity and damage of the repeaters themselves. Because can you imagine a
Oh yeah.
rapid fire machine gun for repeaters?
That's what I missed from the speed. I called it machine gun mode whenever I was able to get into it.
I miss
What the?
machine gun mode.
What the? I just punched air for 30 seconds. For 10 seconds at least.
So, you've heard of the fat legendary weapons might be a thing in Dauntless. What are you hoping they will be?
Something that balances the leaderboard for trials. Whatever it is. I like how we saw some swords and repeaters, some pikes, this Karabakh team, so anything that can give us more of that change would be cool.
I'm hoping they're unique weapons. I hope they're like, people say they want a whip or a bow or something like that. I hope they are the only bow or the only whip in Dauntless.
Oh man. Sorry, I talked to the behemoths when I
I get it, man. Oh, I'm down too. Yeah.
Here we go.
So I see you with the hashtag of trials ready. Do you hope for this to be a trending tag, or is this just something you've made up?
Escalation ready I was very motivated that day because I was doing a lot of carries, people were doing good, they were getting parts, and I was like, I got this idea in my head that I had to build a Dauntless army. Because I for one love playing with people, random or not. And that's one of the things I love about this game. And if you're gonna
And you're
play...
an OG player yourself.
Exactly, and when I got in, the whole thing around randoms and nobody wanted to play with the game was in a place where if you were gonna do good or excel, you were gonna do it by yourself. I'll see you in the city, real.
I'll see you soon. Oh, and just so you know, I've got other interviews planned, so if anyone is looking for anyone in particular, I'll try reaching out to people and hopefully getting their thoughts on the game too.
Let me know when you're back. Okay, cool.
I'm back,
So,
but I am not in the city yet. Oh no, now I am.
Okay. I see you queue in. I see your avatar queue in before you come in.
Yeah, because that's the thing. I don't know when the glitch activates of when you can hear people and when you can actually see the city. I don't know when that glitch happens.
So I fell in love with Dauntless before I even downloaded it. I've heard cross-platform and kill monsters. And I was like, I'm there. This is amazing. I love the idea of playing a cross-platform, Xbox, PlayStation, PC. No more of this, I'm a PC player, I'm an Xbox player. It's like, it doesn't matter. We have common ground. And then I started playing, and I got to a point where I didn't want to do 10 or 15-minute hunts anymore. And all the other players I was playing was like, yeah, dude, just do it solo. Just do it solo. Just do it solo. It's faster. And I didn't like the idea of a cross-platform game forcing you to play by yourself, right? So I started thinking about escalation and how you can't do escalation solo. You could maybe do an all DPS build, but I've been in fights where if all I'm focused on is DPS, no one picks me up when I go down. So we have players like that play the game. You got to be a team player to get some teamwork. And instead of complaining about it, I thought, why don't I get my gold crown and become one of those people all the new players listens to?
And you know what? It's already working, because look at me. I've only got a lonely blue crown and I'm listening to you.
And
around that time, I'm interviewing you.
Around that time, Trials had come out. And discipline cells are really big in the game. But as someone that pays attention to detail, I noticed that I didn't want to. I noticed what it did for me. I played with Iceborne. I went from mid game to end game with Iceborne, and it made trials harder to learn because I had to end up practicing my dodge. And so that was the first thing I did. Bunch of normal trial carries and convinced people to get berserker cells, and it just went from there. I started making the videos, started doing strategies, and then on that particular day, there was I called it a train. I helped one guy. He brought in a friend, helped him. They brought in friends, and it just kind of for like a good hour and a half. It was just helping a bunch of, and everyone was real thankful. We helped them with quests. They all got their parts. They made their exotic weapons. And then I posted that post. It was like, if we just keep doing this and make everybody better, lean them away from Iceborne so they can dodge, playing trials with randoms will be more fun. Doing Dauntless trials with random more reliable, and we can count on each other a little bit more when we go to escalate. And it's more fun overall. You know? And that's what that post was about. I was just highly motivated. I'd been playing it.
And now hashtag escalation ready. Actually, I hope more people that hopefully watch this and see your posts will actually make hashtag escalation ready a thing, even if escalation would be in the game. Because think about it, half the people in this game aren't even normal trolls ready. There's half the people in the game thinking that they can use Iceborne and Tough at the same time to bypass any of the dodging. I know for a fact one guy that I was playing with, I won't call out names, but he he actually thought he could go into a Dauntless trial against a Karabakh with Iceborne and Tough, and he could just go in there. It'd be no sweat, no done deal. He got one shot with both level sixes.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I've done that. I've been there. I went in one time. I used to go in with 9 lives and prismatic grace, because if you take those two into Dauntless trials, that's like having 2 revives. 9 lives picks you up after your first death, and then prismatic picks you up after the second one. So I've been there. I've done all that. Do what you can, man, when you're trying to win.
Oh, that's true. That's true. But my mindset has always been that it's like a band-aid. You have to rip it off before it's going to feel any better. You can't just slowly do it. You have to just get in there, do what needs to be done, and get out of there, because it is very much a timed thing if you want your rewards. I mean, you can go in there every week and get your 100 for doing it in 20 minutes. You can, yeah, of course, but you're not really going to get the rewards you're looking for then, because if you're doing trials anyway weekly, then obviously there's something you want. Obviously you want to get something, you want to prove something. Then if you're doing it 100 a week, then yeah, maybe in about 2.5 months you'll get a crown, but that's 2.5 months when you could be practicing doing it, let's say, in 3 weeks.
For sure. And on that note, I love that you said that, because you're right. Here I am sitting on, like 4,000 gilded marks, and people are like, well, why do you do trials anyway? You're obviously not using it. You just want your crown. You don't do anything with them. And you're right. It's because for me, it's part of the game. Us to do it. Dauntless trials. You can't just be a casual gamer. You can't turn on. You can't turn. Maybe you can. That damn good at it. I'm not. But for me, uh, trials is like another puzzle in the game. It's not about moving fast and doing damage. It's about damage window harder than what's the equation? How fast does it move? Are my windows? That's what I'm thinking about when I'm in. How many attacks is he going to together before I have a window? How much damage can I do? Getting too many attacks together. How do I boop them to get him to sit down so I can deal some damage? And I don't know how many people do that, but for me, it's if I can go in there, if I can sub 3 marks, pat on the back for cracking the code, solving the puzzle that Phoenix Labs put in front of us. For me, that's what it is. It's not about the marks, not about the cosmetics, not about the crown. About solving the puzzle that is the Trials monster. If you can think about gaming or whatever you do on that level, you might have a better chance at Dauntless Trials, but that's how I see it. I mean, it takes a lot of the pressure off. when I think of it that way. So
No, that's a very
that's me.
profound way of thinking of it. Really, honestly, it's listening to every word. I completely agree.
Yeah.
So, what would you
Oh,
say to newer players who are struggling to climb the ladder of just missions and farming and the grinds? You know, because I know a lot of people are put off by the grinds. So, what would you say to people that are actively trying to climb the ladder to the first end game, as it were?
ooh, get away from discipline for now. Um, get away from discipline. Get some berserker. But new players moving up. Get away from the smash and dash approach of the game. It's a lot of fun. I know when I got Chain Blades, I spammed that light attack combo all day. It was the only one I did. Um, but get away from that. Look at it as give it a little more strategy. Look for damage windows. Look at the attack patterns. Find the boot. Um, you don't want to fight for 10 minutes. That's what it takes. And those are the things that carry you throughout the game. It's not just going to help you at the beginning or at the end. Help you in every single grinding to get stuff to plus 15, or you're just doing armor on. Looking for the boop, finding damage windows, and slowing down are going to help you. And dodging, there you go, and dodging will help you. If you practice dodging, slowing down, and booping from the beginning of the game, Dauntless will be a faster fight. That'll be the only difference for you. It'll just be faster.
Oh, I had a question. I forgot what it was. Oh, by the way, should we go into the Broken Sword so we can continue talking?
Yeah,
It's nice. I think it's a nice little place. Nice little place to do an interview.
let's do it. But that,
So, what cells would you
all that,
recommend?
what cells would I recommend? I would recommend. Here, I want to do this. Yeah. I would recommend from the trial store, Berserker over Discipline.
Hmm.
You do need discipline for trials, and when you know how to dodge, you get a lot more out of it. But Berserker will give you constant damage, which is what you need when you're breaking parts and you're making your way through the game. I forgot what question I was answering. What am I talking about? Oh, cells. So Berserker. When it comes to anything else, evasion.
Oh.
Mobility cells don't get enough attention. I like evasion even at plus 3 because it increases your dodge windows. But you want to be practicing anyway. For technique,
Well, by the way, I've noticed something about the agility cell is that I don't know if this is just me, but I've noticed that it doesn't just work on your dodging, you know, to lessen the stamina you need for dodging. I don't know why, but I've noticed this on attacks that require stamina, it lessens that stamina window. Is that just me?
mm,
Because,
I don't know. I don't play very much with agility.
well,
Uh,
you know, as a guy using repeaters and whatnot, I've noticed that when I was using agility with something like repeating elements for the swords, I don't know why, but I felt like I could use repeating elements much longer than I could do with, say, uh, you know, just normally without it.
hmm. That'd be interesting to look at because I'm big on stamina. I like to use my heavy attack when I play with swords, so I usually got the Charog, Exotic, or Stamina tonics. But if that's the case, I might just throw some agility on there.
I just noticed it because I was in a phase when I was in the game where I only had two armor sets. It was either full Nazaga or full Karabak because they just looked
Yeah,
cool and you know I was a noob at the time. I still am, but you know.
gotcha,
And
gotcha. Oh, here.
hmm?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go, you go.
So there's when it comes to cells, one that stands out. My view on this game after like I say mid game was was to understand the meta because that's what most people were going to be running. So I knew a lot of people would run Conduit. I knew a lot of people would run Rage Hunter and you know all these things. Knockout King was still a viable cell back then. Um, the one that stood out to me was Pacifier. Not enough people use Pacifier. I never heard too much about it, but it increases stagger damage to Aged Behemoth, and the percentage bonus almost double that of Rage Hunter. You get
Ooh.
30%. Let's go into it, actually. You get 30% at plus Pacifier. At plus 6, you get 60% stagger when they're enraged. I think that's a lot. I don't know why that never made it to the meta. I don't know why Rage Hunter kind of stayed what it was. Maybe because Rage Hunter has a armor that you can upgrade to plus 10 and get it to plus 3. Pacifier, like Discipline, doesn't have a piece of armor with it in there. So you'd be using up 2 cell slots to get it to plus 6.
It's funny,
Only reason
Wild
I think it
Frenzy
would
doesn't have an armor piece either.
Wild Frenzy has a weapon. Has the Riftstalker weapons.
It does, but it's literally only that. I mean, you can literally have plus 30 rage if you want to, but for some reason you can't have Wild
Yeah.
Frenzy on your armor. I have no idea.
Yep. Same with Conduit with Riftstalker. Riftstalker has it. Reza has it. And a few other pieces have it. So
So,
Pacifier would probably be a good Berserker and Sprinter. If you play repeaters, Sprinter for that extra mobility slot on there. Just move around a little better.
I tell you, as a repeaters guy, I definitely recommend Sprinter on the Twin Suns. Anyone who's going to be using that, because you already have another dodge that doesn't cost stamina. So if you've got that extra dodge to get you out of the way, why not have something that lessens your stamina to give you more movement speed, which is essential for repeaters.
Exactly. And I like being able with the mag bombs to make my way around the behemoth. You know?
And I tell you what, Strike Zeal, when you pop that, the instant cast, and you're running around the behemoth throwing the mag bombs all at once. Oh, so good. Love it. So, do you agree with this, that someone shouldn't use Conduit until they can use plus 6?
Depends on the situation, yes.
Yeah, because there's a rumour that, I don't know if I've tested this out yet, I will do at some point, but apparently if someone says they have level 2, and someone just activated their level 6, the over 2 will override it.
Because Conduit doesn't stack, it refreshes. And it'll refresh the lowest one.
Which kind of sucks.
Which is one of the reasons why I usually will leave Conduit out of my build in a group hunt, because either someone's running it, lower, or someone else is running it at plus 6, so it frees me up to run something else.
I'll see you in hunt.
Here we go.
So, what would you say is some specials or mods in the Trials store that people should look to get?
Oh man, if you're working your way up, Berserker for sure.
Oh no, but mods and specials. We've already talked about
Mods and
cells,
specials.
but yeah.
Okay, so mods and specials. Ooh. Avenging Overdrive for sure. I don't think it gets enough attention, but Momentum Blades definitely should get that one, because and I'm trying to, okay, won't give too much away, but because one of the hardest things I think to do with Chain Blades is to get the stagger, right? Especially when you see the symbol going around their head, you're like, oh yeah, let's get it. But I mean, how much faith do you really have in yourself on getting that quick with Chain Blades,
Exactly, and more speed means the animations play faster, so it's an ample opportunity to dodge.
Exactly. So with Momentum Blades, you could just hammer out 2 or 3 specials and get that stagger and put them on the floor. Even if you only got like 2 left, that's technically 4 if you do them in quick succession.
And see, this is why I come to you with Chain Blade knowledge.
At first I would use it to keep up with Shroud and chase them around the map. Faster moving behemoths Tempest Born Stormclaw, things like that.
Plus, I mean, it's got to look like a pretty spectacular thing just to see a Chainblade guy just dashing around the entire map going after Shroud.
Exactly. Yeah. I used it in the last trial with those plants he was putting everywhere. Just shoot through them. Oh my god, I can't play this slow. There we go. Oh, whoa! I just fell through Skarn.
I love when you accidentally go into behemoths. It's the funniest thing because they're completely hollow.
I like fell through the map. Yeah, that was weird. I like breaking the armor on his body. I like seeing it come apart.
It's like peeing an orange. So who would you say is your biggest inspirations in the game?
There's a player I played with when I started. His name's Scrap83. He did essentially what I do now. Took me under his wing, taught me everything he knows, helped me understand builds. Instead of just giving them to me, just helped me understand how to put them together myself, the play style and stuff. And he had been playing for about a year, and he doesn't play anymore, which kind of sucks. But that's so inspired me to just keep helping the community. He was really big on helping a new player, building his guild from the bottom up, help a new player, get him to about mid-game, have him join your guild, and then when it comes to Dauntless Trials, you got a team full of people to help you, 'cause, you know, they feel
exactly.
like... Yeah.
Oh, I'll see you in town.
Oh god, I think I heard you come in.
You can hear me by the massive fan on my PS4. God, I can't wait to get that sword.
He had a saying. He would always say, I helped you, now you help someone else, and the cycle continues. And
Oh,
I
that's
just
really
loved his
sweet.
he really helped me see like the community as a whole. Is like, it's not just you and me, bro. There's a bunch of people out there that want to play this game, want to learn this game, want to enjoy this game. And that really stuck with me. It was a game I loved to play. It was the first game I picked up in years. Fell into an awesome community, met an awesome player that helped me get where I'm at, and it was like, now I just want to do the same, man. I want people to play the game, and I do. And I do what I can to help them do that.
That's really sweet, that is. It really sweet. Because, I mean, obviously we're both in community pages ourselves. We like to help people out. So, you know, just to hear how, you know, we decided to help people out like that, I feel it's really cool. It's like, because I want more people to be able to see that it's us against behemoths. It's not us against us. There is no PvP in the game, you know?
Yeah, that's what Trials is for. Want to be a tryhard, do Trials.
So, how do you feel about people who want top 100 special stuff or the top 5 stuff, like the Dauntless title? How do you feel about those people who are looking to get it just because they haven't got it yet? Or, how do I put this? It's like, they see that they're in the position to get it, so they are in the top 5. But they will say things like, well, I haven't got it yet, you have, so don't do trials.
Yeah, I think that's well, first, I think that attitude is like it's part of it's all the streamers that carry people. You know, they kind of made Trials just another thing that can be attained, when I think it was put in place more for the way I talked about it earlier, more of a personal challenge to yourself. I know there's a leaderboard and stuff, but
That's why I
um,
really respect people in solo leaderboards because they have no one but themselves to put them up there.
exactly. And there's a couple of teams on there that are regulars on the top 5 and top 10, but um, they get so used to being carried through the game, through challenges, through part break. Oh, I ran into some difficulty. Let me request bio over here, help me through it. And they never really have to try. They never really have to learn anything. They were carried the whole time, so they expect the same thing in trials. Um, what do I think of them? I mean, I don't try not to, really.
I mean, they're not really worth the thought, are
uh, but I don't like it. I don't like the idea of, hey, let me have the title because you already do. If you don't have it yet, it's because you don't deserve it. you know?
they? So this
It's-
question,
I mean,
so this question is going to be a little bit. You can choose not to answer it if you will. But how do you feel about people who have uh, not not really cheated but exploited Dauntless Trials? So let's say the Ember main with repeaters glitch. How do you feel about those people?
I think, I think because it's in the game, and it still is in the game, you can't really put a lot of blame on them for it still being there.
Hmm.
Um, because I feel like if you found it right, if you found it like oh wow, look at what happens, and you've never done trial or no, let me hold on. Focus Game put it out on YouTube. So if you found it and it was your chance to win trials, maybe get a sub 3 or your crown, go right ahead, make it fun. I don't see anything wrong with that. But if you're going to third-party cheater software or sites or anything like that to push yourself forward, then I have kind of an issue. But if it's an exploit in the game, developers haven't fixed. I I mentioned a strategy with Shroud in the video that I use with Strike and Scrape, which is staying at his feet, because if you do, a lot of the times they glitch out and they just start moving to the left and to the right and to the left and to
Their
the
AI
right,
has
and
no idea what to do.
yeah, you get a free 5-10 seconds of damage. Do I consider that an exploit? No, that's the way the behemoth behaves. If they don't
Hmm.
if they don't like it, they should fix it. I don't have
So,
anything.
so is there any? Okay, you don't have to name drop anyone, of course, but is there anyone that you felt that has top 100 status or top 5 status that you feel attitude-wise really shouldn't get the attention that they have?
Hmm.
Again, no name dropping if you don't want to.
No, I mean that really shouldn't get the attention that they have. No, I think if you've played the game that long and you're in a place to be able to do that, because I see these top 5 players. A lot of us get one shot, and even I get down to like a sliver of health when I get hit, and these guys got a good, nice chunk of health left, so they can take a few shots in trials. And I think if you've worked hard to get your armor to that level, then you deserve all the glory that comes to you.
Hmm.
How you handle that glory is what I don't have to like. And I think there's a few people out there that really on the I made it to the top and now I'm one of the best. And they don't play in parties, they don't help anybody else. They get on, they get their leaderboard time, and that's it. They
It's
post a
either
bunch of
my
glory.
way or the highway.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm not a fan of those people, but they deserve all the
Right.
attention they get, and they put in they did the grind. So they deserve it all. For
Yeah, I
me, it's
mean, obviously they deserve the
attitude.
place they're at, but they don't. I don't really feel. I feel like achievement should be there because you've already done the trials. Like you've got the top 100, you've got the crown. That's your sign of achievement. But being boastful, saying it's my way or it's wrong, that's going to be getting the community's achievements. You see, getting the achievement with the players themselves.
Exactly, which is why I would hide my crown sometimes. so, Sometimes it was because people want to be carried and stuff. But
Oh,
when you have a crown, people think you have all the answers. Like there's people still think Dauntless is a game where meta rules, and in trials it does. But everything else it's still flavor. Sometimes I get bored and I'll play with the freaking sword for a week. I'll pick up the axe. Anything works. Oh,
I mean, you're just playing the game to have fun. If it's not trials, you're doing it for fun. So I
Exactly.
mean, why
Oh yeah,
not?
that's what I was. Take off my crown to do it because people think you have all the answers and they want me to give them like, the ultimate build to carry them all the way through, and the conversation ends up learning more, and more about how they play. They like to be careful and sit back. Okay, fast cannon. Oh wait, maybe you should fast cannon because you're keeping your distance or something. I try to any recommendation I make, I try to keep within their personal play style. I don't want them to have to learn to play the game any different than they are.
I'd recommend for people that if they're actually trying to do something like that, if they're trying to have a certain playstyle like staying safe or keeping back until the right opportunity or just going fully aggressive, something like that, then choose the weapon and the cells and the perks and whatnot for you. The only thing I don't want you to do ever is just do that thing that everyone does, like they'll just throw the axe and that'll be the only attacks they do, or they use repeaters 5 miles away and that's all they do. You have to get into the face at some point or another. But if there is a way of staying, safe until you get big into the attacks. Of course, there is. But just don't be those guys.
Yeah, for sure.
So, what would you
Uh,
say is a story of one of your worst experiences with another player?
oh man, I'm not gonna name names, but if he sees this, he's gonna know who he is. uh, it
You don't have to tell
was.
anything you don't want
Oh
to.
yeah, not naming names, but this player, bunch of passion for the game. Loved the game. I felt like he was one of the players like us that yells at behemoths and he's like, "What the heck's going on?" Just has a bunch of fun with it. And we ended up playing together quite a bit. I was helping him through the game, but he was just overall very. He had a very negative outlook on a lot of things. I couldn't compliment him whenever he got a boop. There was always something he did wrong. I couldn't give him the credit at the end of a fight. I couldn't suggest anything he didn't see on YouTube. It was like, okay, like, what kind of relationship are we building here? uh, I think what he didn't realize was that when you play online games, the your conversation voice is all nobody. Here we go, pacifier. Your voice is all you have. No one sees your facial expressions. No one sees your body language. So if you're putting a physical emphasis on certain words or cracking a certain joke, they're not going to see that. Not gonna know. It maybe if that was your style of humor and whatnot, we were hanging out in person, I'd be able to smile on your face making some of these comments. But online, it's not the case, and it just creates a different mood. And not just him, but any player that's not very conscious of that tends to bother me a little.
Be a bit dismissive.
I mean, not completely dismissive, but I'm gonna mute my mic. Not gonna talk to him.
It's one of
That's
those
a
moments where you have to
personality.
mute your mic and be like, oh, jeez, why am I still here?
But like I said, great guy. Loved the game, so I always wanted to play with him. He's just a little pessimistic. Probably the worst nightmare, because he was on every time I was on, and for a long time he was like the only person I played with.
Yeah, and that
I
could
couldn't squeeze
definitely
enough
leak into your
squeeze it.
personality too.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
other
but
than that,
I'm glad to see though it hasn't really, turned you into one of those kind of people either, because you had full right to just take it in because he was the person you were playing with all those times. But no, I mean you're one of the coolest guys I know in the game,
thanks,
if
man.
not the coolest.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Same to you, man. I love the accent.
Everyone
Yeah.
loves the accent.
I honestly, I thought, believe it or not, when we first started playing, I was like, this guy's got an English accent, but he jokes around like an Aussie, so maybe he's Australian. And I just didn't mention it. I didn't bring it up to you or anything because I didn't want to seem like a dude.
Nah, I like when people ask because thing is, I'm actually I live I'm actually a gypsy myself, so you know people don't actually think like, wait, you're a gypsy? And I'm like, yeah, I am. It was like, oh really? So you ride the horse and stuff like that? It's like, if I want to, I can. I just don't because I'm playing Dauntless.
That's awesome. That's cool. I had no idea. Damn.
No one ever has an idea until I tell them.
That's really cool though. I can feel myself get quiet when we go into these hunts, but
No, I know. I mean, I know why you do the commentary. It feels better for you personally.
yeah, I admire the fact that you can play and commentate at the same time. I think that's so cool.
Well, I kind of have to. I don't know how to edit. So, if you could have Weapon 8 for the game, what would you want it to be?
Another range weapon. I don't know what. I like the idea of a crossbow or something like it, or just something else with range.
As a guy who mains a sort of ranged weapon, I'm not really a big fan of the idea of a crossbow.
I don't like this. I just feel like the reload will be weird, and they'd have to make it some weird like machine gun crossbow or something. Just I mean, maybe more of a support. I don't know. I have no idea what they could bring in.
Shall I give you my thoughts in
Nunchucks,
town?
ninja stars, ninja stars.
I'll give you my thoughts in town.
Do you have? Oh, I'll wait for you to come in.
Oh, I'm back. But yeah, my thoughts really is for ranged weapons, I wouldn't like to see something focused on range. Because repeaters themselves, they work fine because they're more like a shotgun. So
Yeah.
repeaters work more like a shotgun. You know, you have to get up close if you want to do the maximum amount that you can do. I mean, yeah, they're technically the safer option, but you have to get within, you know, hitting distance to actually do something. So if you got something like a crossbow or throwing styles or something, the intention is ranged. You know what I mean? The intention is to stay far away. So I feel like it would kind of break the game to have a weapon that you can be 5 miles away and do really good, while everyone else is within hitting distance and you're not.
Yeah.
So I feel like if they did implement it, they'd have to do something with it. But at the same time, it's a cool idea. It is, but it's like it's like in the streams when they said people want a sword and shield. And it's like, okay, so we have to go into the game and think how that will work with everything in it because we're making a unique mechanic that has to work with what we've already established. If that makes sense. I mean, yeah, it is a cool idea. Crossbows, throwing stuff. It is great. I would love to see it, obviously.
But it's like you want people engaged in the fight.
Yeah, I want people
Maybe
to get
something like maybe like something like Warpike where like Savage Wellspring, that special boosts the whole group. It's got a wide range. Maybe something like that. Something that boosts the team a little more. Whether it's speed, critical strike, that is something.
Did you see that comment I gave you before about a rhythm-based weapon that gave boosts based on the rhythm you give?
I like that.
That'd be good. It's actually based on. Have you ever played Warframe before?
I have not.
Right. In there is a frame, as it were, that actually is based on rhythm called Octavia, and what she can do is she has abilities and attacks that are based on rhythm. So if you're attacking and activating your abilities based on the rhythm of the music around you, that you can incorporate into the game and make yourself and whatnot. So that'd be actually really cool if you can make your own music in the game and then you can use that to fight with. that if you're doing it in time to the music, then you actually get those buffs at a larger rate than you would normally.
I really, really like that idea because I think it was you I was talking to about the button clicks on my controller and how I
Yeah.
use them. I use the button clicks more than the visuals to get into the rhythm of the combo. So it's the button clicks and the vibration of my controller that I use. So if they took that from outside out here in my hand and put it in the game, that would be so cool because I already kind of do that with the sound. I think that'd be really neat.
That would be really, really cool.
Hey, do you have, how's your interview going? There's someone I think we can help right now.
Well, if there's all we can help right now, I think we should, this would be the interview for now.
Okay.
Yeah, no, but honestly, thank you so much for answering all these questions. It was a blast, really. I've been enjoying everything you've been saying.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Always fun. Are you gonna head out? You gonna?
No, I'm not going to
help me
head
with
out,
this
but I'm just going to stop the video. So, everyone, thank you for watching. Thank you, Change, for coming into the game. Honestly, I recommend this guy to anyone who needs help or anyone that is just looking for ideas about the game. This guy, Change, best guy ever. So, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy videos to come.